Erika Craven joins us with more. Erika?
This tiny ice rink, nestled in the heart of Minot, gives residents and visitors the chance to practice new skills or skate for the very first time. Prosecutors say a cell phone left at the scene, a black baseball cap, Timberland boots, and DNA evidence will answer that question. Through those snow drifts or plow piles, just like that. This drone isn't just for aerial photography. It's given Mandan police an extra eye in the sky.
Now, Erika, you have your law degree from Boston College Law School, so what are your thoughts?
That's right, Monica. I was a little bit surprised that this would be open for consideration. Chad Isaak resided here at the North Dakota State Penitentiary. He was serving 4 consecutive life sentences over the past 5 minutes at the intersection of East Main Avenue and 5th Street in Bismarck. I've seen about 10 people texting and driving. That sign and the furniture in the building were removed by law enforcement. Bismarck police say they found a second shooting victim. They're learning what it's like to be part of the North Dakota Army National Guard. You might see several variations of that spin in the Olympics, including a hair cutter where you bring your foot to your head, or a Beelman where you bring it all the way overhead. I don't do those anymore because my back is retired. I used to skate for Disney on Ice, so
that is so cool.
They keep roping me into skating for news segments, which is a lot of fun, but you know. Residents at the James River Correctional Center are picking up baking skills and rising to new challenges.
Prior to this, I never had any baking experience, really.
Each day, the bakers make baked goods. They have their work cut out for them.
Come in, get everything ready, get the bread prepped, let it proof, roll it, and then put it in the oven.
Since the bakery's debut this spring, the aroma of baked goods has wafted from the kitchen.
For the institution, it just kind of reminds people of, you know, back home. But first and foremost, for the residents, they'll have a skill when they get out.
The residents say they hope the abilities they pick up baking will follow them after they move on from the facility.
Just learning new things that I can take with me to make for people when I get out and my family and stuff. So.
New skills aren't the only benefit. Staff say the bakery has been in the works for about 4 years. The purpose is to save the state money.
To save on bread, we hired some guys in and got the equipment in, and we tweaked recipes back and forth to get what we wanted, and the recipes have turned out really good.
Assistant Food Services Director Sean Fisher says it costs less to bake a loaf of bread than to buy one. He says the rollout has been smooth and each resident baker has caught on quickly.
It helps me, like I said, to get away from the day-to-day things of regular prison life.
The bakery puts out fresh goods 7 days a week. Those in the facility and at the state hospital say the extra kneading was needed. In Jamestown, Erika Craven reporting for your news leader. After the verdict was read, Chad Ensel's family hugged. They say the ending to the nearly 3-year process to bring justice for Chad has been bittersweet.
Every time anybody went to court for any of this, it's just heart-wrenching and hard on a body. And I mean, moving on, we talk about Chad all the time, and my sons remind me of him quite a bit.
This outcome came after the state called 44 witnesses to testify as they outlined a case against Nikki. In her closing argument Tuesday, State's Attorney Julie Lawyer focused on an agreement between Nikki and Earl Howard to commit the crimes and collect on insurance. Testimony revealed Nikki had emailed Earl insurance documents 2 days before the murder.
If you don't have a plan to kill the husband and set the house on fire, why does he need a copy of her renter's insurance?
Defense attorney Thomas Glass called no witnesses in the case and only spoke to the jury during closing arguments. Then he tried to raise doubt on the state's case.
We don't have the biggest piece of this puzzle to tell us, right? An alleged co-conspirator.
State's Attorney Julie Lawyer said she was pleased with the presentation of the case. It was a case that was never about who pulled the trigger, but who was involved in the scheme. Now, amid tears of relief, the family says it's their time to heal. They want Chad to be remembered as who he was, not who Nikki said he was.
Very kind, didn't have a bad word to say about anybody, always willing to give a helping hand. I mean, really, he was my first friend.
The family was in the courtroom every day of the trial.
Now, all this week, reporter Erika Craven has brought us along as she's learned what law enforcement officers do to train for life or death situations in her series, Aiming for Answers.
Well, she learned the basics of handling a firearm, clearing a room, and dealt with simulated scenarios. Tonight, we find out if she's learned from her mistakes.
All the equipment in the world and hours of training can't always prepare you for a situation you've never encountered.
You have no authority.
I learned that lesson after I was shot in my first training run, and again
You're the ultimate authority.
after I accidentally shot an innocent person during the second encounter. I had panicked. With a cell phone.
Every time you go to a door, you have no idea what's on the other side. You don't know if there's 3 people in there, 1 person, you don't know if they have guns, if they don't have guns, how they're going to react to you. But that's real life.
I hoped the third call would be different. It was a 911 hang-up with no other information. Oh, there's a gun. Can I call for backup, please? I didn't want to enter the room alone, and I didn't want to shoot. But my hesitation to take control of the situation led to another tragedy. Well, it was a big deal to me to figure out whether I should have the gun out ready or if that's going to make the situation worse, because you don't want to have a gun in somebody's face if they're just doing nothing wrong, you know. The next call, a suspicious person trying to get into apartments. Hey sir, are you locked out of your apartment? He fired, turned, and fled.
You shot him in the back.
Yeah.
Would you have been justified? Yeah, he was shooting at you.
Yeah.
But how does that look to the media? How does it look to people?
The general public, when they see cops shoot people in the back.
Yeah, it's not great. Finally, I was called to a convenience store.
Where the clerk has called 911 because there is a gentleman inside with a knife.
Hey Frank, I just want to talk to you for a second. After a short interaction, the actor turned the knife from himself to me. I don't want to shoot you, Frank. I'm sorry. I learned that my communication skills weren't up to the task.
Oh, man.
In each scenario, I wanted more information, more time, and backup.
Obviously, I was not an expert by the end, but I think I corrected some of the mistakes that I made early on, but then there was also a double-edged sword where I was kind of primed to act in a certain way, so it was a learning experience, that's for sure.
You have to train in order to serve the public as best as you can.
Agents say the simulated scenario training helps them hone their reactions. It's better to make mistakes in practice than in real life.
Excuse me, sir, can you come out with your hands up?
In Bismarck, Erika Craven reporting for your news leader.